and I just want to introduce myself. My name is Carrie Pannoni. I work for Maryland Business Roundtable for Education, MBRT for short. And today on the Way to Be at Home series, we're going to have a community chat with one of our mega volunteers who is here to provide some guidance and support for our students and families. During these unprecedented times, and he's going to share 7 techniques to help minimize negative thoughts. And we all could use that at this moment in time. And especially myself, I'm missing my students that I get to work with as part of the Next Generation Scholars Program at Fort Hill. Shout out to all the students. I hope you're doing well and social distancing and staying safe. I miss you and can't wait to see you again. As part of the Next Generation Scholars Program, I get to work with amazing volunteers, such as our guest today, to take students on college visits and career tours. And we also provide extra resources to help support our students, such as Naviance, which, by the way, check in on naviance.com to connect with your guidance counselor and myself, and plus have lots of fun activities to explore colleges and careers. In addition to all these amazing resources, including our magazine, The Way to Be at Home series is featuring guidance today for our students and families. And I just want to introduce a man who is a great motivator and inspiration to our students in Allegheny County as part of our Maryland Scholar Speakers Program. And he helps me with the Next Generation Scholars Program as well. And his name is Leonard Webb. Thank you for joining us, Leonard.
Thanks for having me, Carrie.
I'm so excited to share his list of long list of accolades, and including all of the amazing work he does volunteering for MBRT. He is a graduate from the University of South Florida. He is a retired law enforcement and addiction counselor with the federal government for over 29 years. And he is an adjunct professor at Potomac State College of West Virginia University. He's been doing that since 2002. He is currently a student in the Education Leadership Program at Oxford State University, as well as he finds time to volunteer for community organizations such as Dapper Dan, which he is the president. And most recently, he is the founder of Webbolutionary Motivation, where he gets to speak with students and adults across the country at conferences and in classrooms. So, Leonard, welcome again. Thank you for being on here today. We really appreciate all you do for MBRT. And we really want you to take this time to share a little bit about your incredible story and your experiences with MBRT.
Thank you very much. I am really grateful for the Maryland Business Roundtable for Education. It allows me to inspire and educate students across Maryland. It's been a great experience. I've been working with youth since I was in college in 1988. I had a small basketball team, and every year since then, I've been doing something. When I was working with the federal government, they wanted to do a community outreach program and wanted to volunteer. So I volunteered to do that, went into the schools, talked about the prison. It eventually led to my supervisors wanting me to go out for career days and Black History Month. And eventually what happened was schools started requesting me to come back. And I was able to come back, and it became just a regular thing for me. And eventually it became bigger and bigger. And I got a call from a woman whose son was incarcerated, and she called to thank me. And I was really humbled by that experience. I've been thanked before, but it just came across different. this time because she said
Mhm.
she thought she was going to die with her son in prison. And he's been out for 5 years, and he gave a lot of credit to me, and she wanted to thank me for it. And I really didn't know what to do. But before the call ended, she said, I'm glad for the work that you do to keep men out of prison from coming back to prison. I just wish you would put that energy into keeping kids from going to prison. And I sat on that for about a week, but I felt like it was a message that I needed to hear. And a week later, I filed my retirement papers, and I just said, this is the path where God is going to take me. And soon after that, I saw advertisement, need speakers. It was the Maryland Business Roundtable for Education.
Mhm.
And I went through the training and started speaking. In my first year, I think I impacted about 200 students. And my goal
Right.
was the following year was to get about 500. I went over that. And my next goal was to get over 1,000. That was this year. And I'm well close to 5,000. During that,
Wow.
and during that time, uh, kind of skipped something. I was at a school for MBRT, and an administrator came to me and said, "We want you to come back and speak." And there were no more scheduled sessions for that school. And he said, "No, I want you to come back and speak, and we'll pay you."
Wow.
I used to think talk was cheap until people started paying me to speak.
That's great.
And then I realized it wasn't, because I was flabbergasted by the amount he wanted to pay me. And with that, I started Webbolutionary Motivation, and it's a play off my name, but actually, the idea comes from the spider, which is a symbol of strength, and the web that it creates are the choices that we make. So I named it Webbolutionary Motivation,
That's
and
fantastic.
uh, got help from someone who helped me build a website. And I always listen to a guy. I don't know if you're familiar with him. He's called Eric Thomas. He's the number
No.
one motivational speaker in the world.
Wow.
And I started following him and his organization, Eric Thomas and Associates. And they were teaching me the business of speaking and sharing my story. And through that, I just met so many connections, like people reaching out to me. Dr. Kristen Guillory, who runs a coaching program, put me under her wing as well. And I just got to meet some fabulous people and started to impact so many kids across the nation that it's just been a great experience.
That's great. I know you've had an immense impact on our students in Allegheny County with the Maryland Scholar Speakers Program, and as a chaperone, you're a great example working with the students to help them be better prepared for their future. And I brought you on today to especially share your expertise with these tips to help our students right now. Everyone, not just students, but adults alike, are dealing with negative thoughts. You turn on the news, social media, it's all over the place. And it's easy to get caught up in that web, so to speak. But uh, I just want to hear more about your 7 techniques to help us to minimize these negative thoughts.
Sure. As I thanks, and as I look back at my experience in school, I struggled in school, and
Mhm.
eventually in seventh grade, I had a teacher tell me I wasn't college material. I was getting into fights and things. I had gotten suspended, and that kind of hit me hard. And I realized there were certain things that I need to do internally to get the external things that I wanted. And I stopped chasing certain things, and all I did was just chase hard work. And eventually, I'm a first generation college graduate for my family, so I feel like there was deeper things, and these techniques just come from my experiences struggling and eventually overcoming that adversity. So And
Right.
this is and these are times where I
Mhm.
think a lot of students, but as youth as well as adults, need.
Absolutely. I am too a first generation college graduate in my family, and um, so I definitely need the extra support that programs like WRT provide for students and families, and I wish they were around back when I was in high school. And, I wish you were around back then to motivate, myself as a student and, just share your dream. That's what all of our volunteers do, like yourself, and, it helps the students make better choices for their future. So, tell us more about these 7 tips to help us with these negative thoughts.
And all of these techniques are common sense, but I think when we're stressed, we overlook them. The first one is music, and whether you play it loud or soft, or whether you like rock, rap, country, rock and roll, music has a way of changing our mind frame and our mood, and that could be for the good or bad. And I always tell
Absolutely.
our youth is be careful of what you put in your mind. It's just like you're careful of what you put in your body. Be careful of what you put in your mind. So, and music has that powerful way of changing our mood and our mind frame. So, music is the first one.
Great.
The second one is triggers. And this is all about being self aware. For myself, I know I'm naturally introvert. I'm not naturally someone who likes to talk. This COVID 19 is comfortable for me because I don't like crowds. So going to the store and all that is great for me. But I'm also self aware that I have an adaptive style, that when I'm stressed or really feeling some emotions, that I change. And one of the things that I recognize as an example is when I'm communicating, if I hear myself getting sarcastic or even condescending, I'm aware that something's not right on the inside. So I have to reevaluate what's going on in the inside. And that allows me to minimize negativity if I have that self awareness.
Those are great tips, so far to help our students with their behavior. We track that with their ABC goals, attendance, behavior, and coursework, GPA. And squashing these negative thoughts can be so helpful to help students succeed with their grades and their behavior, keeping them out of trouble.
And when I'm in classrooms, I do stress that because I think a
Mhm.
lot of youth think that people are just naturally gifted at things, or they just don't have it. Um, and what's common between a lot of high performers, whether it's athletic, like someone like LeBron James, or somebody in business like Warren Buffett, they seem like two totally different people, but they have two things that are so much in common. And one is that self awareness, and two is authenticity. They are who they are. And I always tell youth, you weren't made like somebody else. So stop trying to be somebody else. Be authentically you. And that's part of just being self aware.
Absolutely.
The third one is activity, and not activity in a physical sense, but keeping your mind active, whether that's reading, just being on task with something, because your mind is focused on something else. You stop focusing on negativity. So just finding activities that you enjoy to do, whether it's drawing or reading or whatever it is, just keeping your mind active. When we sit for too long, those negative thoughts creep into our head because our brain isn't built for positivity. It's built for survival. So we're always thinking on the negative side, what could happen naturally. That's our natural instinct, is to survive. So if we keep our mind on task and on doing things, we don't think about those negative thoughts that creep into our head.
Absolutely. I think during these times, everyone kind of kicks in with that survival mode. So, whatever we can do to kind of help, keep us focused on our goals, our future. and keep it positive.
The next one is sleep, and I think this is an underrated one because I hear a
Absolutely.
lot of people say, I don't need that much sleep. But sleep allows you to replenish and refuel your body. Just like you can't drive a car nonstop. You do have to get an oil change. You do have to get gas. A car does have to rest or it'll overheat. So you do have to reset your biological clock. And that by doing that, you reduce stress and anxiety. I know with teenagers in the house, they now and there's no school, they keep saying, I was up till 5 o'clock in the morning. And I don't think they realize that sleep is an important part of just your mental health and your physical health.
It's easy to do that when you don't have to be anywhere necessarily. I have the smallest commute now from, for work, working from home, so I can identify with that, and sometimes I stay up too late as well, so definitely we wanna encourage our students to maybe set a schedule, keep on that to help them with even not just their schoolwork, they're working online, but also their sleep schedule.
Yeah, absolutely. The next one is exercise. Again, a common sense one, but the benefits of it is the endorphins that you produce while exercising increases your self-esteem. It seems simple, but and just a 10-minute walk, but when we're in our negative emotions, we tend to sit down, we tend to sometimes even sleep more than we're supposed to. And just by being active and doing some exercises keeps us healthy, keeps our mind healthy.
Yes, that is a great suggestion, and, I see we have some visitors here, not to go off track, but on who are watching along, and, one of them mentioned your shirt, seniors,
Oh yes, yes. This
supporting the
is
seniors this year. Mhm.
this was a gift from Bladensburg High School, which was
Oh,
a
great.
Webbolutionary Motivation event. I got to speak to the ninth graders and the 12th graders, and I just wanted, if there were anyone's watching, just wanted to remind them, and to all the seniors, this COVID-19, they can take away your prom, they can take away your spring sports, but they can't take away your dreams, they can't take away your goals. This is just a restart of what you want to do, and maybe just realizing how fragile life can be and cherishing every moment. But uh, this virus can't stop your dreams, it can't stop your goals, so keep pushing forward.
Absolutely, absolutely, and, stay focused on your future and, use this time maybe on Naviance to research if you don't know what you want to do in your future. There are lots of surveys on Naviance you can take to help you determine a career path and research careers. So it's a great way to work on your future while you have this downtime.
And it says seniors, the one where they all graduate 2020.
Great, great,
And just to remind, the condition we're in is not your conclusion.
absolutely.
I'll get back to our 7 steps. I think we're on number 6,
Great.
meditation. This is another underrated one that I think a lot of people don't put into use. And it takes a small amount of time. Every time I wake up in the morning, I take 10 minutes to meditate. And it's just refreshes my mind and I get to think about what's really important. That meditation time that I use, what's really important, what do I want to accomplish today? How am I going to attack this day, regardless of what adversity circumstances come my way? And it just gets me off to a great start. I always tell myself, I don't say good morning, I say great rising, because I'm going to rise to whatever uh, comes my way with stubborn relentlessness. And it only takes 10 minutes.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. Journaling, writing in a journal, just taking time to uh, get quiet. And I know it seems like we have a lot of time on our hands to be able to do that, but still, it's important to set aside time to meditate and to just reevaluate your goals and checklists. So it's a great time.
Yeah. And my last one is gratitude. I read the other day, if you have food, if you have shelter, you're doing better than 75% of the whole world. And if you're really 75% of the world, that you're doing better than. So it's tough times, but there's always something to be grateful for. See the big picture. Gratitude is your catalyst for happiness. I think we're waiting for something or something to make us happy or make us successful, and we don't need anyone's permission to to be successful. And if we show an attitude of gratitude, it unlocks so many blessings that we can have. And I'm blessed because I used to think I was blessed to be able to receive $1,000, but I'm blessed when I'm able to give $1,000, and that's how I count it.
Absolutely. Attitude of gratitude is kind of my motto. And on that note, I'm so thankful, Leonard, that you could join us today. Honestly, if it weren't for you and many other thousands of volunteers with MPRT, we wouldn't be able to be as successful and to reach and help students across the state of Maryland without your support. So again, I'm thankful for that. I'm thankful for you joining us today. And I just want to give you a moment. Do you have anything you want to share before I close up?
Oh yeah, thanks for having me. Thanks for MBRT for allowing me to share my story. If anybody out there wants to follow me, I'm Webbolutionary on all social media platforms. The website is Webbolutionary Motivation. If Where you can look at my coaching program, uh, speaking program, and if you want to stay in contact, my email is info@webbolutionarymotivation.com. And I do a monthly newsletter with some of the same tips and things for students and adults, just to make an impact in the world. And if you're underclassmen listening to this, I just like to say it's not over. Uh, this is the time to really reset, rethink about what you want to do. And again, just see how fragile life is. And if you're going to be a part of something, this is all the more reason to give it everything you got. Is that there were seniors who thought they were going to play their last spring sport. There were seniors that thought they were going to go to the prom. So just live every day, like they say, live every day like this last. Be grateful for what you have, and the blessings will come to you. You don't have to chase anything. If you chase hard work, everything else will chase you.
Absolutely. Thank you so much again. And, our heartfelt thanks to you and all of our volunteers. We're going to be celebrating our volunteers next week as part of National Volunteer Week. And so if you haven't already, like all of our social media platforms with Maryland Business Roundtable for Education, share with your family and friends this post to help them deal with these times and hectic times. And, we have an app that's free for students from 7th grade to 12th grade to download. It's called the Way to Be app. It's available on Android and Apple devices. So make sure you check that out and check out our website at www.mbrt.org. And I just want to thank everyone, thank the teachers and the students and the staff. Shout out to Fort Hill, go Big Red. And I hope you'll join us for our next Way to Be at Home series tomorrow. And we're going to be joining with another community partner, M&T Bank, at 11 o'clock tomorrow for a financial aid literacy program. Thanks again, and thank you for joining us, Leonard.